Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us for our Tuesday weather video. We're tracking a southerly that's moving up the South Island, bringing heavy snow in the mountains, and we've got some big frosts on the way for the next couple of nights as well. The North Island's got a subtropical low forming. It's going to likely remain offshore, but it's still one to keep an eye on. And then over in Australia, a large area of high pressure. So on the satellite map today, you can see this is the area where the low pressure zone is trying to form, and the southerly coming into the Tasman, sort of pushing into that cloud. So a southerly going into a developing low is the recipe for heavy snow, and that's what we're seeing down around the South Island. That's where the bulk of the snow will be through the mountains, with maybe 50, 60 centimetres coming over the next couple of days. But there won't be very much falling down at lower levels, below 300 metres, for example, but there could still be a few flurries in the mix. Australia mostly dry, just a couple of showers coming into Tasmania and one or two coming in from the north, and the tropics quite quiet at the moment. So we've got on the animated wind map a much clearer picture of where that low is starting to form, but also a clear picture on the size of this big area of high pressure in Australia, the southerly going all the way up to the Solomon Islands. So quite a large area of southerly winds coming through, and New Caledonia gets that as well. But you move a little bit further over and you've got easterly winds, and that's coming around the other area of high pressure. So high pressure in the New Zealand and Australia areas dominating the weather in the tropics. So we've got this low pressure zone forming in between all of that, and that's driving in a milder northerly for the top of New Zealand, with cloud and a bit of patchy rain moving through on Wednesday, and that low will deepen a little bit further as it does so. And then further down around the South Island, that southerly flow. So northerlies to the top, southerlies at the bottom, and that explains why we've got a variety in our weather forecast this week. So we do have frosts on the way. This is overnight tonight going into Tuesday morning. The purple areas showing where frosts are highly likely, and the pale blue showing where frosts are possible. And as you can notice, as you go into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, those frosts and the risk zones do expand. And by the way, there is still the chance of a frost outside of these areas. This is just the main area where frosty weather is expected. And you can see these maps. Just go to weatherwatch.co.nz. It's under temperatures. So let's get into the forecast. Here we are for Tuesday, and not a lot of change really to where we are on Monday. The low is deepening, the high's over Australia, the other high out to our northeast, and that cold southerly moving up the South Island, and that's the area where snow is most likely, where colder air is meeting with the northerly flow coming down with moisture in it. So that's the good recipe for snow, but mostly up into the mountains. By Wednesday, that southerly is still around, but the moisture's gone. So it's cold, but not as much snow now falling. Could be a little bit with this little burst of showers moving up the west coast, another flurry of snow along the mountains. And then at the top of the country, that deepening low, because it is getting deeper as it sits up there, easterly winds coming through for Northland, and they'll pick up a little bit down into Auckland and Coromandel later on. Otherwise, that's really about it, and not a lot going on in Australia, although a few showers just brushing Adelaide. As we move through the week on Thursday, that low is tracking past us. It's sort of like a bowling ball that's gone into the gutters, so it's not looking like a direct hit for the North Island, but it's close enough to still keep an eye on. But here on Thursday, that South Island southerly, now it goes all the way up the country. So this is southerly winds all the way up New Zealand. Cold and showery around that southerly side, southern side of Australia. And at the southern side of New Zealand, in comes the next front, which you'll feel more so maybe around Friday as it moves northwards, and it sort of goes sideways. So there'll be a few showers in the south of both islands, and even some coming into Hawke's Bay, but it won't be very much at all. But you will notice that temperature drop coming in on Friday, and at the same time over in Australia, lines of rain or bands of rain starting to form up into that northeast corner. And our final map for Saturday shows more of that rain lingering around with a light easterly, and that's what we mean by La Nina has officially finished, but it's still in the atmosphere, it's still in the sea. And you're noticing this here as we get into the weekend forecast with easterlies and rain all the way down to New South Wales. But this high pressure zone, parked here around Western Australia and South Australia, stretching all the way out to the international date line. So that is a good several thousand kilometres across. So that is going to be influencing New Zealand's weather as we go into the weekend. Westerly winds in the south of the country and rain over here along the eastern side of Australia. That's all from me. Good to be back. We'll see you again tomorrow, Tuesday, with our next update.